Hi, I'm Jack Baruzzini, and you're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, where we talk about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Father Cory Sticha. Hi, Father.
Howdy, Jack.
And Lisa Jones. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jack.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Jack.
Don't say that to a pilot.
No, I should not. I'll be certain not to.
Can't tell you how many times I've gotten that joke. Today, we are discussing the 14th episode of Season 5, 48 Hours. Teal'c gets trapped in the memory cache of the Stargate after killing Tanith by downing his Akesh. The team race against time to find a way to get him out before he is wiped from the memory. We get to see more of Colonel Simmons' shenanigans and the results of the NID's capturing of a Goa'uld. Daniel goes to Russia to negotiate for their use of the DHD to help rescue Teal'c, and we get introduced to Rodney McKay, a character that I'm sure is just a one-off and isn't going to show up later. And he's already my favorite character.
Yes, he is.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to Atlantis now because I know he's a main on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What are your thoughts on this episode, Father?
Well, you know, Christopher Judge should have gotten an Emmy for his acting. Okay, no, he didn't do anything in this. Christopher Judge was not in this at all. Teal'c was not in this at all.
It was a Teal'c episode, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Stargate basically 90% of the episode. This felt more like a TNG, oh no, the transporters are screwed up, and so we need to fix it episode. Wait, it was. It literally was.
Yeah.
I mean, even the technology, or talking about how the pattern is stored in the buffer is like, this is right out of Star Trek Next Generation. So this is one episode that it's just kind of like, okay, it advances storyline. It has Mayborn, who's, I love that scene. You rat bastard, you know. And Simmons gets arrested. The end.
Yep. Yeah, that scene with Mayborn kind of made the whole episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
So good. What about you, Lisa?
I'm going to go opposite of Father Cory. I like this episode a lot. We talk all the time about how the characters don't have enough to do. And you think about it, besides Teal'c, because he was missing, but he did get to kill Tanith. So, yay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he got his revenge. But the other three all had not just something to do, they kind of had their own storylines. They were separate from each other, and they all got to do something that was within their wheelhouse, right? Carter got to do all the geeky, I'm the smartest person in the room, except for now McKay thinks he is, and I loved. And then you have Daniel, who gets to go with Major Davis, negotiate with the Russians, and then, you know, Major Davis is like doing the whole, no, we have no intention of honoring any of this. And, you know, Daniel's over there like, I can't believe it, you know. And then Jack and, oh my gosh, my brain just went. Mayborn, yeah. I mean, them running around saving the day. So I like it. There's a lot going on. I'd forgotten that there were so many plots at one time. And yeah, I mean, sure, we all know it's, a Star Trek thing, but I'm actually surprised they got all the way to season 5 before they, kind of threw this in there, because it's too obvious a plot device to not use at least once. And I think this is the only time we use it. So I like it. You don't get bored, that's for sure, because there's just like constant something. I mean, and how often does General Hammond get blackmailed? In his office.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But is able to turn the tables on him.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Don't mess with Texas.
That's right.
Yeah.
What about you, Victor?
No, I think I'm more in agreement with Lisa on this one. This is kind of like 3 of my favorite episodes rolled up into one. I do like how we get, the political intrigue, with the Russians, which there's so many good scenes in that could have just been so boring, but Daniel and Colonel Chekhov and Major Davis, just the 3 of them kind of playing off each other really works. We get probably peak Jack Mayborn action here. It's always a delight when Mayborn, his little, cardigan or whatever, is using the computer. That just delights me so much. It's like, he's like your dad just using the computer and see
Hunt and Pecker.
Yeah. And then And then, Sam gets, and then of course we meet McKay. He's not Rodney McKay yet, but we get to meet McKay, and it's just amazing. And we can tick through some of them. Just how much of this character, David Hewitt, like, I mean, obviously he didn't, he thought he was probably doing a one-off, but how much he nailed, like, and how much carries over to Atlantis. The whole citrus thing, the whole, a lot of it, just his feelings for Carter, as well, and so how much of this, which finally get resolved in a very good episode of Atlantis. I think it's called like Trio or something. I forget what it's called, but I'll look it up. But yeah, so just amazing, like how much of the groundwork they laid there. And so, Sam gets to push back on him and be right, but they're both right. And then, Hammond gets to shine. Walter gets something to do. Siler gets something to do. And again, it is a Teal'c episode that Teal'c isn't in. I don't know. They could have at least, I don't know, had Teal'c's voice coming from the Stargate, or maybe like he could have been the personality of the Stargate from now on. He's like, oh, where are you guys going? Can I? Oh, that's right. I can't come with you. Oh, but you're going through me. Bye. Or something. I don't know. I just thought of that. It would be kind of cool.
They could have done the, speaking of TNG, they could have done the thing when, Barclay gets stuck in the transporter and like the weird, like, worm things are coming at him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have him develop Stargate phobia or something.
Yeah.
Teal'c has
the plexing.
Yeah. Which is funny because that's actually like an EMDR method now.
Oh, did they get the idea from the show, or did the show get the idea from?
So when I don't know, but I just now associated that. I know this is a total tangent, but when I was at the rehab, they had this thing where you could do like to like calm yourself down.
Yeah.
And I'm just now remembered that. So there we go.
Oh, that's funny. It must work.
Anyways, Teal'c has like the Worf problem of it's hard to integrate him into a story that isn't about honor and revenge. So I do hope we see him branch out more later on, but he's hard to tie in, I feel like.
Yeah.
They get him trapped in a VR video game later.
Oh, that's true.
Interesting. I don't know if that's better.
It's not.
Just imagining a lawnmower.
Speaking of recycled TNG plots.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this episode a lot. It was a lot of fun. It was very action-packed, very dense. You had a lot of things going on. I'm not a big fan of the explanation of how the Stargate works because it essentially just turns it into a transporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it literally is. It's you walk through the event horizon and it breaks you down and sends you as data like a transporter does. And then the other end reassembles you just like a transporter does. And it's a transporter, just up that you walk through instead of stand on. Yeah.
Well, because a wormhole connects 2 points in space. This just sends you, I guess.
It's like through the subspace. Yeah.
Maybe it uses quantum entanglement or something like that. That's going to be my headcanon.
It's part of what we see, and this was written by Robert C. Cooper, and he really goes into like the the mechanics of the Stargate and the ancients and stuff, and the mythos of the show on his episodes. And it's kind of, we do see a progressive kind of demystification of the Stargate. Like in the first few seasons, it's like, this is like built by some super advanced race, and they we don't know how it works, and it just transports you, and it's like we're in way over our heads. And then like by Atlantis, they're like, the ancients are just like scientists who were very advanced, but made mistakes in their labs, and humans can figure out how their technology works and stuff, and read their they kind of demystify the ancients and the Stargate technology. And this is kind of, I don't know if it's the starting point of that, but it's a point along that progression.
Mm-hmm. You have Rodney McKay saying about 400 different error codes, and you only listen to like 200 of them. It's like, okay, so they know, she knows that the Stargate does communicate back and has an error channel, that can communicate on and things like that. It's like that. And it's so different than kind of the original explanation was basically the DHD uses a camera to show what symbol is on the chevron, and it spins it like with a wheel. Yeah. It was so much more simpler originally, the way they kind of explained how the DHD worked.
The dialing
And now all of a
computer,
sudden it actually is communicating with the Stargate and sending messages back and forth. And it's like, okay.
So Sam is just doing what every single developer does when they're working in an IDE. You run your program and you get all those errors, and you're like, as long as it actually works, I'm not going to worry about this for a
Yeah.
As long as it compiles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
When you love when McKay said, I'm actually more shocked that you saw the error and aborted the process, because usually you just override everything and just keep going.
And Sam trots out her just following orders.
Yeah.
Excuse again.
I will say I will give her patience, give her credit for her patience that she didn't either one knock him on his butt or two pull out a gun and just shoot him.
Yeah.
At least knock him on his butt. Yeah, I was.
Especially
She had it coming. Yeah.
Especially there in the dining room.
Oh my
I can't
gosh.
believe I always get so attracted to hot blondes that are so
dumb
blondes.
Dumb blondes.
Yeah.
Dumb blondes, yeah.
Dumb blondes.
Go suck a lemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when she gets mad at him, he's like, "You're just that's so sexy." I was
Yeah.
like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Like, who wrote that?
Some weird psychology going on, McKay.
Yeah. He just does it so well that
Yes.
it's still, he still hasn't, he hasn't become irredeemable at that point,
But the iron, of course, the interesting part is this is right after he sees on the board that the chicken is lemon chicken and asks if it has lemons.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny watching this again, knowing McKay, later, I'd forgotten how infuriating and obnoxious he was. I mean, you remember that he was, but
Yeah.
now I'm watching it and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how are we going to go from here to Atlantis and have him where everybody loves him? You know what I mean? It's so crazy. But on the flip side, a lot of the obnoxious things he said weren't actually wrong.
No, that's the thing about McKay
Yeah.
is he's usually right,
He's got that.
Yeah.
He's got that engineer thing of no social skills, but so he's just very blunt, and it just comes across as obnoxious. He just says what he's thinking.
And he can't imagine someone else might be righter than him.
Yep.
Yeah. And as we learned last week in our discussion with Joseph Malazzi, that he wasn't even, originally intended to be on Atlantis. He was a late addition.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very glad that we got 5 more seasons of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he show up anymore in SG1?
He has one more episode. Yeah, I think.
Oh, cool. Nice. Speaking of people who don't show up, they had a very anticlimactic end to Tanith. He gets killed in the cold open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that it was a fake death, but at least what I've seen online, that's the end of him.
Mm-mm.
That's it. That was it. Yeah, that was the most anticlimactic death of a Goa'uld.
Yeah.
Right. I read something about that online that Malazzi was talking about, and he said that they wanted him to come back and have like a fight to the death with Teal'c and be, killed in that way, but they couldn't come to an agreement with the actor, like over terms. And I'm like, it must have been really bad if we're just like, nah, we're just gonna. I mean, you realize
drop you
that
into the
wasn't
chimney
even
and like blow felt or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not even new footage.
Yeah, it's just him like sitting in the ship. It's like,
Yeah, I've seen for that 1 second.
yeah,
And he's
yeah.
not credited in the episode. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
he
like, how
reused
bad were
footage
the
of him just like standing
negotiations?
there and like stuck it onto the ship.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm in this episode too.
Yeah, so they could have just had him change hosts and bring him back as another body. Like,
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't really a great character to begin
No.
with.
no.
No, he had the smug expression down pat, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah. He was no, some of the other Goa'ulds we're about to meet.
Oh, and Teal'c has his death glider cannon again. The one that he tore off the death glider. I'm wondering now, does he just take that with him on away missions?
Yeah.
Like, or does he just rip one off of every death glider like he comes across, like when he's on the planet?
And when he
Collects
came
them.
back through the gate, he's all like, here you go. I mean,
Yeah,
like they're just like, oh, okay, that's normal.
Yeah, they had the one airman whose job was just to stand there and grab it from
collect
him.
it. It's like, oh no, he's coming back with another death glider cannon again. These things are so heavy. The stockroom's just full of these things. We get it. You can
No,
carry
in
one of
my
these
head,
around.
Gedden, he just goes with it now. He just,
Just
we
carries
don't
it.
always see it, but he's like, no, this mission, I need it.
We're delivering medical supplies. It's like, no.
I need it.
He has like a bag of holding or something that he sticks it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fun to see the Russians again. I like the kind of international politics angle that they're bringing into the show because now they have a Stargate and all that stuff that's going on. And I was expecting we'd see the Marina Sirtis character again because it seemed like there was something they were going to develop, but guess not.
We do get Colonel Chekhov. Is he named in this episode?
Yeah.
Okay, he is. Okay. He wasn't in the last episode, but yeah, him and Major Davis, because they're playing like, the East versus West, U.S. versus the Ruskies, and they're doing it like you haven't disclosed this program, give us what we want. And in the middle of this, Daniel Jackson, because they've determined that the DHD can help get Teal'c, but this is like the prize, the jewel for the Russians. It's something Daniel Jackson just says, like, when the negotiations are hitting a fever pitch, Daniel Jackson just throws out there like what'll it take for you to give us your DHD? And it just,
how much will it cost?
Yeah. And it just completely and Chekhov's like, no, let's discuss this. Finally somebody who understands how to negotiate.
Yeah.
You make the big ask and then you so
work down from there. Yeah.
And Davis is just horrified that he's negotiating at all. I mean, it's like Davis went in there with no negotiation tactics. It's like, no, we're not giving anything. We're not going to even acknowledge that we violated our agreement. And you're just going to give us what we want and that's it.
Yeah, there's no negotiation here. And the Colonel's like, yeah, there is. And we're going to do this.
Yeah, Davis didn't know what he was getting when he brought Daniel with him. Because Daniel's not wait, you're not going to honor the agreement? Wait, what? No, what?
Yeah.
Sure that won't turn out poorly in the future.
Yeah, I thought we were fighting for the whole of Earth. In fact, I guess we were only fighting for the U.S.,
Good old U.S. of A.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is interesting, and that they asked for Russian team, and we get a Russian team, and that whole international angle coming in, kind of.
Yeah. Eventually, we get the Civilian Oversight Committee and International Oversight Committee.
And so I know currently the Stargate program is secret, but do we ever get disclosure in the future, like to the whole world, or is that not something we end up seeing?
We get an episode called Disclosure.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
More countries find out, but not the public. Yeah.
The French, the British, the Russian, and the Chinese, I think.
Canadian.
Well, and then
Canadian
eventually
teams.
And then eventually with Atlantis, we get like every country just about is represented. 26 countries, I think they say at some point.
It's still kept secret.
Nice. United Nations in space. Yeah, so Mayborn is back. That scene, I almost wonder if that was ad-libbed because it just felt so spontaneous.
Yeah.
It's like I just want like a buddy cop show with those two.
Yeah.
Like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
O'Neill and Mayborn.
Yeah.
Starsky and Hutch in space.
I'm one of the few guys who can hack the computer, Jag. Yeah.
I love that. Cassidy.
Yeah.
David?
Was it David or Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course it was Butch Cassidy.
Yes. He definitely looks like the kind of guy who is a fan of that movie. His kind of cowboy dad outfit he's got going on.
I did love Mayborn's clothes in this. It was such a flashback for me. And Simmons' suit, the gray with the dark burgundy tie and matching shirt, and it just all the things about the early 2000s, which fashion wise is very back now.
Is it really like the
vintage?
The suits that are too big and.
Well, I don't know about for men, but at least for the women, a lot of those the early 2000s are back. So, wish I'd kept my clothes.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
Been wearing the same thing for like 20 years, so
just keep it. It'll come back.
Collar,
What's your
never goes
opinion
out of style,
fashion,
or
father?
never was in style. I mean, I've been wearing t-shirt and jeans, for my casual wear since I was like 3.
Yeah.
I think if you go like 500 years in the future, people will still wear t-shirts and jeans. It's
Pretty
never
much.
going away.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
whatever you print on the t-shirt. They'll have
It'll be
LCD t-shirts that you can change the.
Oh.
Flexible screens,
I
yeah,
like that.
with AI generated art on it.
I predict that Sansa Belt polyester pants will be making a comeback.
Oh.
The Sansa Belts.
Did you stock up on them when they were?
I-
on
Yeah, how
sale?
many do you
did.
have?
That I will sell for $35 a pair. 3 gross. No, it's and we get a Gould in this episode
We
too.
do.
Yeah,
And probably the again the most incompetent guards
Yes.
that we've ever seen. I
for
did even
real.
yeah.
They're
I did
hiding
even-
behind the bars of the jail.
Yeah. Well, and they see the Zat come from the doorway, and the guy like looks to like where the Zat went, not to where it
Yeah.
came from.
Where did it go, George? Where did it go? I do have to say, I've been to Minot, North Dakota. I've been to Minot Air Force Base. I've actually
Oh, wow.
flown into Minot Air Force Base with
Wow.
space available flights in the Air Force. There are no houses that look like that. That does not look like Minot, North Dakota. I've been there. It's flat. It's cold.
Yeah.
Strangely, everything looks like Vancouver.
I know.
Yeah.
And you aren't going to find a mansion like that in Minot, I can guarantee you.
Yeah, this really shows the incompetence of the NID, and I feel like there's got to be some sort of fallout for Jack for kind of just busting in there and doing that. But I guess Simmons was in the wrong. So
Well,
Yep.
did we get a resolution of where the Gould went? Because Simmons got arrested. Jack and, well, why don't we say where Mayborn went? But Jack left.
They
So
locked
where's,
I think they locked him back in the cage.
okay.
Yeah, but what happened after that?
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we find out ultimately. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there's yeah. But I did like the guard, he's like, Paul, check on Joe, take Peter. That's,
Yeah.
Joe Malazzi,
Yeah.
Paul Mully, and Peter DeLuise.
Yeah.
You know?
That was funny.
Yeah.
those guys must have been like private security or something because they
Yeah.
were very incompetent.
Yeah. They weren't the cream of the crop of the NID.
I don't know. Well, I mean, they were stuck in there, so
I have a military question. So Simmons is a colonel.
Yep.
But he's wearing snazzy suits.
Mhm.
Why is he not in uniform?
Because maybe John Delancey didn't want to wear a uniform. No, it's supposed to be a civilian oversight organization, so it would make sense.
Okay.
Now, those one of the accurate things of things like NCIS is like special agents for like Office of Special Investigations, the Air Force calls it, or NCIS. They wear civilian uniforms. They don't wear
Okay.
military uniforms, at least not on duty.
mm.
So
Okay.
So that's not implausible that NID, that the military oversight for it would be, or military in charge of it would be wearing civilian uniform as well, or civilian outfits as well.
Okay.
Is that just kind of a plain clothes kind of idea? You don't want to draw attention to it?
Pretty much.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like I said, for Office of Special Investigation, that's their equivalent of the FBI, and they wear civilian suits.
Yeah. Like the
Mhm.
Secret Service. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
So we get to see they do get their hands on the Russian DHD. They're able to use it to successfully pull Teal'c out of the Stargate, but they also blow it up in the process. So
Yeah.
Just accidentally happened too.
It's another really funny thing too. It's like the most valuable resource on Earth, just about.
And Colonel Chekhov had that wah, wah,
Yeah, right.
look.
And Daniel makes some like silly comment about like, so that happened or something.
but none of that didn't happen in any of the simulations.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love
it
as they're hooking it up.
Yeah.
Was it Jackson or was it Daniel
Siler,
that said,
yeah.
"Yeah, you shouldn't be in there"? And Siler goes, "Well,
Yeah.
I should be okay here."
Yeah,
Was it
Jack-
talking to you?
Yeah, it's Jack.
Yeah.
Well, and then Carter goes, it doesn't matter where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's bad.
But it was another good, Richard Dean Anderson and Dan Shea, moment, because the actor plays Siler has been Richard Dean Anderson's stunt double since I think season 3 of MacGyver.
Yep.
In the late '80s, and so they definitely have a good working relationship.
So
Jack's
then
talking
is
to
Richard
Sam.
Dean Anderson Siler's stunt double? Oh,
no, Siler does his own stunts.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he does his own.
I like that I called him Sparky.
Yeah. But no, I think that speaks a lot. I mean, Richard Dean Anderson is a class act all the way, but he's given before, Dan Shea was his stunt double, his previous stunt double on MacGyver. He actually, he would give them roles in the show. And so in one episode of MacGyver's previous stunt double played, had a small role. And then when, later on, Dan Shea had some small roles in MacGyver too. So it's just kind of cool that, giving them some screen time as well and some lines on camera.
Even though he gets
awesome.
injured every episode he appears in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the running gag.
Yeah.
I love it.
What is it they refer to? What's the colonel's name who goes with
Chekhov.
Daniel? Yeah. Who goes with Daniel?
Major Davis.
Major Davis.
yeah.
Major Davis,
Major
yeah.
Disaster.
Oh, yeah.
It's like every time he shows up, something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, his first appearance was in Matter of Time, I think.
Oh, yeah.
The wormhole
Oh, yeah.
episode, yep. Or
And
no,
then
the
he was
black hole
in the-
episode.
Foothold one.
Yep.
So the whole thing with the DHD has got me thinking, like, pretty much every planet they go to has a DHD. Could they not take like a computer with them, use that to spin up the Stargate so they can go back home and then just take the DHD with them?
In theory.
You're talking about stealing?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they steal Stargates later on. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah.
they steal a lot of Stargates.
That would be the
later
worst
on.
thing they've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they obviously
Yeah.
they could do that, and leave a little laptop there to run the Stargate. Once they get it
Raspberry
figured
Pi.
out, it probably doesn't take that much processing. But yeah, what's this little box hooked up to the Stargate?
And then just strand whatever band of nomads have been using that planet for like wintering, because it was slightly warmer than their other planets. And so they get there and
To be
hey, where's
fair,
the
when they
DHD to get home? Oh,
To be fair, when they do start grabbing Stargates, they're always abandoned planets.
yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah.
they could get
uninhabitable
them from there.
planets and stuff.
You could
Yeah.
you could steal it from like the ones where the Stargate's in the museum and they don't know it actually works and what it is.
Oh,
Steal-
the one where they show up in the middle of the tour.
yeah. So steal it from that planet.
Yeah.
Could take
Just leave
the
a plastic
Tolans.
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't need it anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
Missed an opportunity there.
Yeah. I've just always wanted to push that big red button. It just looks fun to push.
Yeah.
That's
There was
funny.
wasn't there like a Price is Right game or something where they had like a big red like foam button that you had to hit? Like, I don't know. I remember that from
There's
being,
press your luck,
yeah, maybe that was it.
but it wasn't like that. I mean, it was just like a little plunger.
or Matterhorn or I don't know what it was, but yeah, it's just being homesick in elementary school and just like seeing this big,
Oh, yeah.
like, huge
Or
foam-
summer,
Watching
over
the
summer,
shows,
you get to
yeah.
watch Prices Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was before my time. I'm sorry.
Prices Right's kind of been around for a while.
Yeah, but I think people of your age might have had more options for entertainment.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You didn't have to watch
Watching
TV from like
Hey,
11
Bob
until-
Barker was
yeah.
worth watching.
You
You
Thank
weren't
you very
stuck
much.
to like the same 5 channels.
Yeah.
Strong Bad and like Star Trek reruns.
Yeah.
Oh, there
That's-
you go.
Yeah. Playing Stampede on an Atari 2600 was your only other option or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that you mentioned at the opening here was just reused footage. Was the whole thing reused footage of the ship? Because when this episode started, I was like, this must have been where they were saving their money over the past like 3 episodes.
Some of it was, some of the Death Glider flyover was. I can't remember. I don't think running from the explosions part was. I don't think the part that was actually filmed with the actors, the SG-1.
Yeah, that had to
I
be.
think that was all new.
Actually,
But like I
think
said, the Death Gliders.
there's a scene where they take their guns and they
Yeah.
shoot over their heads. We've seen that before because that's in one
That's
of the
in the
opening
intro.
sequences.
Yeah, it's in the credits. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't mean it's been in the credits since before season 5.
It's been in the credits from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it's from one of the early, like, Children of the Gods or something like that.
That's what I was thinking, because that struck me as soon as I saw that. I'm like, that's not new.
Maybe that's just one of their go-to maneuvers, right? When you see an airplane, like an aircraft you're trying to take down, you shoot your little 5.7 millimeter, personal defense rounds at it and just hope that one of them
will take out Naquita.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's and the Alakesh rising up is new.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there is a little bit there that's new footage, but some of it is reused footage as well.
Yeah, I like how whenever we see a Death Glider, we always get like that side view of the wing with like, the blaster.
Yeah.
I think that's from the movie.
It might be,
that. Yeah.
Some of it is, yeah.
Yeah. But, I really like this episode. I see where you're coming from, Father, but I think I'm gonna side with Lisa and Victor on this one.
I'm not totally opposed to this episode. It's just the whole Teal'c thing. I was playing off more the whole Teal'c lack of anything.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
I'm not as positive as you guys are on this one, but it wasn't that bad. Come on, give me a break.
I did look online to see if there was like Christopher Judge was at jury duty that day. Like, was there a reason that he wasn't in it? And I didn't see anything. Maybe there's another episode coming up that is like really Teal'c focused, because sometimes they do that. Like, they balance it.
So they got to give people their days off, I guess. So.
And the next one is Summit.
I'm looking through it. I'm not seeing it.
There's not a lot of.
The Warrior.
The Warrior, yeah. Deceiver.
Is that another Teal'c revenge honor kind of episode?
Yeah.
Jaffa backstory kind of episode.
Yeah. Nice. So did we have any fun alternate titles for this episode, Victor?
Not really. Everybody went with 48 hours in their own language. Like, so, 48 and then the number 48 and then whatever their word for hour is, or whatever.
It would have been
Teal'c
better.
Interrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Original working title for this, Teal'c Interrupted.
You mean German wasn't Teal'c gets trapped in Stargate and
no
hijinks ensues?
And they even say that's why we call it a deadline in this. So Deadline would have been a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it is now safe to remove your flash drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't eject the Stargate properly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you have any other thoughts on this episode?
Nope.
It was fun, but didn't have a lot of meat to it at the end of the day.
Nope.
Not
Awesome,
like that lemon chicken.
Yeah.
Or whatever that mystery glop was that
Yeah.
Rodney wound up eating. I like that too. They keep
Stew.
his food, like his obsession with food and just eating.
Oh,
they
that's
keep
true.
that in Atlantis as well. Yeah.
Because like her, she goes, "Are you hungry?" Like, that's just so gross.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm really looking forward to getting into Atlantis.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Nice.
Mm.
Awesome. Before we go, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the Secrets of Stargate, including Rachel H., Joseph G., Michael K., Chris D., and Adam B. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Stargate and all of the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. To find previous episodes of Secrets of Stargate and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. And you can email us at stargate@sqpn.com or follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia or on Twitter at SQPN. And we'll be back next time when we'll be discussing the next episode of SG1, Summit. Speaking of a lot of Gould, there's a lot of Gould in that one.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Until then, Father Cory, thank you for joining me and sharing the Secrets of Stargate.
Thank you, Jack.
And Lisa Jones, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jack.
And Victor Lambs, thank you too.
Thanks, Jack. I have my revenge. Tanith is dead. That's nice. I'm happy for you.
Calling a good day's work.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm Jack Baruzzini. Thank you for listening to The Secret to Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?